Spider-Man and Batman, the two biggest names in superhero history. Two icons who dominate comic shops, movie theaters, Halloween costumes, theme parks, and pop culture worldwide. One swings through New York with energy, humor, color, and optimism. The other stalks Gotham's rooftops, silent, intimidating, methodical, and emotionally fractured. Both experienced the violent loss of a family member. Both built their entire moral identity around the rule that they never take a life. Both are the mascots of their studios, instantly recognizable across the entire planet. And yet, in movies, something strange happens. Whenever Spider-Man shows up on screen, he works.
I need this job. Give me another chance.
Whether it's Tobey Maguire's earnest sincerity, Andrew Garfield's emotional intensity, Tom Holland's youthful charm, or the animated brilliance of Into the Spider-Verse, Spider-Man consistently lands with critics, fans, and general audiences. Batman, on the other hand, stumbles. Not always. Sometimes he soars. Sometimes he dominates the entire superhero genre. But his success comes in waves, massive highs and sudden, brutal lows. So how can two characters who look so similar on paper have such different cinematic track records? Why does Spider-Man almost always work while Batman works only occasionally? Today, we're digging into the psychology, the filmmaking, the audience expectations, and the tonal differences between these two juggernauts. Before we dive in, make sure to subscribe to Silver Screen Hero for more deep dives into Marvel, DC, and everything in between. Before we talk differences, we need to talk similarities, because on the surface, they look nearly identical. Spider-Man isn't only the kid bitten by a radioactive spider. Batman isn't only a billionaire who fights crime with gadgets. Their stories start in the same emotional place: grief. Peter Parker loses Uncle Ben. Bruce Wayne loses his parents, Thomas and Martha Wayne. And the trauma doesn't break them, it transforms them. Both heroes make a moral decision not because the law demands it, but because their pain demands it. Both vow to protect others from feeling the same loss. But this shared origin hides a crucial difference. Peter's tragedy creates emotional accessibility. Bruce's tragedy creates emotional distance. Peter's story is about growing up. Bruce's story is about being forever broken. And in cinema, emotional accessibility wins almost every time. Audiences connect more with growth than with a bottomless pit of trauma. This is Spider-Man's first major cinematic advantage. At his core, Peter Parker is you. He's every kid overwhelmed by school, rent, responsibility, romance, work, bullies, self-doubt, and expectations. He's the person who is trying, desperately, to hold his life together. Spider-Man wears a mask not to hide his ego, but to protect the people he loves. He saves the world while wondering if he can afford dinner. He stops supervillains while stressing about exams. He is powerful externally and painfully human internally. That's why people click with him instantly. Every time fate struck him down, he still continued moving on, and the most important part, he still followed the path of righteousness. He is remarkable and my personal role model since childhood. Spider-Man's creator Stan Lee even said, back in 1977, that he specifically created Peter to be relatable, awkward, and human. And the movies reflect that relatability every single time. Raimi's trilogy shows Peter struggling with love, work, school, money, and responsibility. Mark Webb's Amazing Spider-Man films modernize him, focusing on insecurity, awkwardness, and heartbreak. MCU Spider-Man leans into teen anxiety, wanting approval, wanting purpose, wanting to be worthy, and learning to grow up. In every era, Peter Parker simply feels real. We know him, we were him. And because audiences see themselves in him, Spider-Man movies consistently smash the box office. Homecoming was beloved, Far From Home became a global phenomenon, No Way Home made over $1.9 billion and shook the world. Now, compare this to Gotham. Bruce Wayne is one of the most legendary, complex characters ever created, but cinematically, he's a nightmare to get right. Why? because audiences cannot relate to him on a human level. Bruce Wayne is a billionaire, a genius, a top-tier athlete, a master martial artist, a world-class detective, a tech expert, a symbol of fear, and Batman. He is aspirational, mythic, elevated, almost superhuman. Compare that to Peter Parker scraping together bus money. Here's a Redditor describing Batman's impossibly high bar. This is already humanly impossible and unrealistic. Bruce Wayne himself is a good-looking, a multi-billionaire playboy, head of an international company who uses his money to become an uncorrupted philanthropist fighting for world peace. Instead of living the life through his wealth and fame, just like any of us would, he decided to dress like a bat and fight psychos at night. Bruce's trauma isolates him, Peter's trauma motivates him. Spider-Man grows from responsibility, Batman grows from obsession. So directors face a challenge. Should Batman be grounded? Should he be mythic? Should he be a detective? A ninja? A soldier? A symbol? Every director chooses a different answer. Tim Burton, Gothic fairy tale. Schumacher, neon camp. Nolan, grounded realism. Snyder, mythic godlike figure. Reeves, noir psychological detective story. Batman is too flexible, and that creates chaos. Because the tone keeps shifting, audiences never know what to expect. Batman Begins, love. The Dark Knight, masterpiece. The Dark Knight Rises, divisive. Batman vs. Superman, extremely divisive. Justice League, chaotic. The Batman, critically acclaimed, but polarized. Spider-Man equals stable, Batman equals volatile. The entire world knows their tone difference. Spider-Man equals bright, funny, heartwarming, energetic. Batman equals dark, brooding, psychological, heavy. Even the average casual viewer understands this without reading a single comic. Spider-Man movies have humor, emotion, high energy, colorful visuals, and fast pacing, even when villains are terrifying, like Green Goblin, Doc Ock, or Vulture. The movies remain fun. Batman films? They are slow-burn crime dramas, detective stories, psychological character studies, or operatic myth-making. Critically brilliant, but not always fun. One Redditor summarized DC's tone perfectly, most likely to differentiate themselves from their counterpart Marvel. Also, the most influential of all DC comics, The Dark Knight Returns and The Killing Joke, were known for their true darkness and mature themes compared to what mostly came before them. Spider-Man appeals to everyone: kids, teens, adults, families, casual viewers, hardcore fans, international audiences. Batman appeals to teens, adults, noir fans, dark story lovers, and cinephiles. One parent even said, "It's not just about violence. The movie itself doesn't have a lot of action. It's more of a detective-type movie, which isn't something an 8-year-old would enjoy. He'd probably get bored pretty quickly." And that difference matters. A film that appeals to everyone will always have an edge over one that appeals to a niche. This might be the biggest difference of all. Spider-Man's mask hides a kid trying to figure out who he is. Batman's mask hides a man trying to hide who he is. Peter equals self-discovery. Bruce equals self-destruction. Tom Holland's Peter is vulnerable, optimistic, loyal, nervous, funny, and emotional. His story is about growth, learning responsibility, and understanding purpose, even at his darkest moment. Aunt May's death, No Way Home, becomes about healing and forgiveness. The world of Spider-Man is colorful, energetic, emotional, and full of heart. Now look at Pattinson's Batman. He is quiet, obsessive, socially broken, withdrawn, rage-filled, and disconnected. He barely appears as Bruce Wayne, because psychologically, Bruce Wayne hardly exists for him. Reeves' Gotham is dark, rainy, slow-moving, atmospheric, and philosophical. It's not a fun movie. It's a brilliant movie, but not fun. The general audience wants emotional warmth, energy, and catharsis. Spider-Man gives that effortlessly. Batman rarely does. Over decades, audiences have formed clear expectations. A Spider-Man movie needs relatable Peter Parker, high-energy action, emotional storytelling, humor, and heart, a big message about responsibility, a hopeful ending. Studios rarely deviate from this, but Batman? Every reboot changes everything. Tone, style, acting, mythology, world building, themes, visuals. Batman has become a choose-your-own genre hero, and that inconsistency hurts him. Spider-Man has a cinematic lane. Batman has a cinematic maze. And the numbers prove it. Spider-Man franchise earnings, Raimi trilogy, $822 million, $783 million, $895 million. Amazing Spider-Man, $757 million, $708 million. MCU Spider-Man, $1.1 billion, $1.9 billion. Spider-Man has almost no box office failures. Now, look at Batman. Nolan trilogy, $373 million, $1.01 billion, $1.08 billion. Batman vs. Superman, $872 million, but considered a disappointment for its budget. The Batman, Reeves, $770 million. Batman films succeed, but not consistently, and not at the same global level. Spider-Man works. Batman stumbles. That's our breakdown. Spider-Man works consistently because he is relatable, warm, emotional, accessible, consistent, universally appealing. Batman stumbles because he is distant, dark, tonally inconsistent, hard to relate to, reinvented every reboot, a niche taste for many viewers. But now, I want to know your thoughts. Why do you think Spider-Man works and Batman stumbles? Or do you disagree completely? Let me know in the comments below, and while you're there, hit the like button, subscribe to Silver Screen Hero, and check out the next video right here.